just cannot figure out, yeah, to get you out my head, cause you left me for the dead. But this money on my account, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of the Snapshot with your guys, Skari and I got Manoa right here. We back.
Okay.
It's been a little minute, but we got a lot to talk about. A lot of content coming up. Summer's here. There's a lot going on. A lot of people seem to think summer is like such a slow season for sports, but one, we got basketball just had their draft, so summer league's coming up. I think next week. Got that.
That's quick.
Yeah, yeah. Free agency is up. So ton of moves already, and it's been like a week. So that's crazy. And even in
Olympics soon.
Olympics soon. Oh, can't even forget about that. I'm a big track guy, outside of this, I actually cover high school track. So that's huge for me. I love track. It's always been a part of my, a sport that I love, been a part of me. So yeah, can't wait for the Olympics. And then of course, college football right around the corner too. So and
Video game and all.
a game we got coming out July. If
Calling
you
out of work.
if you get that pre-order July 16th. So which, we got that. You might even see some content from us, on that because I'm a huge, football guy. We both play Madden and now CFB. So you might see some content on that too. So stay tuned for that. But today it's all about free agency. Just a couple big moves have already happened. We're gonna give you about four teams we really had an eye on and seen what they've gotten into so far in free agency. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm gonna start off. Of course, this is a team that a lot of people are familiar with, being that they just came out of the NBA Finals. Lost to the better team in the Boston Celtics, but the Dallas Mavericks put together that team at the trade deadline, I'd say, and to get as far as they did, really, commendations to them. And they did their thing. And starting the offseason, they addressed a big need, which is shooting. Tim Hardaway Jr., he had that big game 4, I believe, and that was pretty much it in the playoffs, to be honest. So
Finally got him out of there. He's been there for a while.
very true. But they added Clay. I hate to see Splash Brothers break up. It's a dynasty over, but
Yeah.
so how do you feel about that, Noah? First off, the Mavs getting Clay.
The Mavs, I like the Clay move. I want to see. I feel like there's still a lot of moving parts still going on because they lost Derrick Jones Jr., which was like a major part because if you notice in the playoffs, he was the one guarding most of like the tougher matchups. Like, he was that guy that like, okay, like the best wing, like the best perimeter player, he's gonna be on him no matter like what that looks like. He's gonna give him hell. Try to do his best. Now they have to find like somebody to replace that. I like the signing Najee Marshall, my guy from New Orleans. He's a very tough like glue guy. He's gonna be a very like solid bench addition. He's gonna be somebody who could like run the offense, facilitate, play defense. And that's about it. But I'm still waiting to see what they look like. I really love Clay over there. He's gonna provide like something ridiculous because it's like now imagine Clay in the corner. Crazy.
Yeah.
Clay, PJ. That's
Mhm.
nuts. Like when you have Kyrie, Luca doing what they do and pick and roll with like, those bigs. That's gonna look good. It's just I want to see what else they do defensively to kind of like, shore up their wing defense.
Of course. And they also lose a guy they drafted in Josh Green, but they pick up another guy in Quentin Grimes. I feel like he was finally starting to come into his own on the Knicks. The Knicks wanted to go depth. I get it. They traded him for Bogdanovich, I believe, and he was on the Pistons. So
Mm-hmm.
them
Got a
getting
lot of guards over there too.
they got yeah, yeah. And them getting Grimes, I feel like that kind of picks up where the loss of Josh Green a little bit. So I like that move too. Speaking of, you talked about Najee Marshall coming over from the Pelicans. That leads me right into the Pelicans, your favorite team,
Yeah.
as everybody
It's
everybody seems to know.
It's a lot going on with the Pelicans right now. Big splash move. We all know DeJounte Murray came over from the Hawks. Didn't have to give up too much with that. That was like a good move on like all fronts because they traded Larry Nance Jr. 2 first-round picks, and they included Dyson Daniels in that trade as well. Kind of like threw him in there, and there was like somebody else also just for like the roster space. They cleared up like 2 extra spots right there, which is really good. DeJounte brings a lead guard kind of like thing to the Pelicans that they've been missing. Haven't had like a true point guard since like Lonzo Ball, like and that's crazy to say. But like you're looking at the Pelicans how they're constructed. You have CJ, he's a two guard. Bi, he's a point forward. Zion, point forward. They never really had like somebody that could really just run down and generate as many threes as DeJounte does at the point guard position. So that's going to be exciting to see. Bi, CJ might still be moving. Contract year for Bi, and he's asking for max, so like 52
Yeah.
plus a year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Pelicans want to pay him that with Trey Murphy on the bench, very solid young player. And it's like I'm torn with this team because I love all those guys out there. It's like I know Trey Murphy's capable, but no matter what happens, I think the Pelicans are going to be good this year because if they flip Bi, they're going to get themselves a center and more bench depth. And if they keep him, they're looking like that Boston OKC model of having a lot of guys that could handle the ball, defend, and get to it. How you
And
feel about it?
see my thing with the Pels, and I like the DeJounte Murray move. I actually really do. I think him and Zion in the pick and roll, it could really just oh my goodness. That
And
could
it's
be
like I'm looking at last year. He averaged like 8 assists a game, like you said.
yeah. That could be crazy. I feel like they lost they lost like what 4 key guys, but the thing is
Yeah, they lost a lot of key guys. They lost lots of like glue guys. Valanciunas left, Najee Marshall, Dyson Daniels. It's like those are all the guys that's just like they don't care about scoring. It's just about like putting it on the floor.
and the thing about that is those guys, that's why like you said, those are glue guys. I'm not so beat up about them losing glue guys per se, because glue guys you can find anywhere in free agency. Like
Exactly.
there's a lot of and free agency is very early. Like this is well, like I said,
It's early summer. It's a lot. A
so
lot could still happen.
the lot could still happen. So they lost a couple glue guys, sure, but they could get a lot back. And you get a guy who was an all-star. You get a guy who can still be an all-star if
Mm-hmm.
he plays the right way. I want to see them re-sign Bi. I don't know if they're gonna give him that max. He does want a lot, and that you got to consider Zion on that team. Like they've got to pay him, even though they I think they just
Trey Murphy got to get
like,
paid
a couple
this
people got
year.
to get paid, and exactly, and
For
keep.
me, I feel like
So
you said, odd man out should be CJ.
I would ship out CJ. I think I personally would keep Bi and ship out CJ. It's like CJ, what have you done for me lately? Type attitude. I mean Bi, he has injury problems here and there, but I know when he's on the court, he's gonna ball.
He's been
CJ,
that guy.
exactly. So
It's a case of CJ's contract is easier to keep because Bi he's younger. Like more teams will take a chance on that. CJ's still making a lot of money. He's very old, and it's kind of like you said, what have you done? So it's harder to trade CJ for something than it is to trade Bi for something, and that's where it's just like kind of like pure business. You'll be better off trading Bi than CJ, even though you want to keep Bi, is just because he's worth more. So you know.
of course, and that leads me right into my next team. I'm gonna go with the Sixers here. I'm low key a generational Sixers hater. I don't like watching them play too much. Just, I don't know.
Ah,
It's just something about the Sixers, man. But they made a lot of good moves so far, very early. One, I mean, they made a couple key re-signings. You got Tyrese Maxey on a 5-year deal. That's gonna
ooh, that boy
boy,
got paid.
hey, that boy could ball. Though. Tyrese Maxey's a dog. Like,
And it's like he benefits so much from like Embiid doing what he does because he plays like so
yeah,
quick. It's like he's either to the cup or he's up with it. And it's like
yeah,
by the time you react to him, he's past you or it's up.
of
And
course.
I love it.
And then you got Andre Drummond coming in on a 2-year deal, Eric Gordon on a 2-year deal. But the big news is Paul George.
Ooh,
You
that's
add
gonna be
Paul George,
major.
you add Paul George to Tyrese and Joel. That's like that third key. Everybody, you lose Tobias Harris, but it's like Tobias Harris or Paul George. I'm taking Paul George every day,
I
like
love it,
every day.
but this is planting some seeds for some very nasty postseason, bro. Like
Yeah.
if they don't make it, Bakari, you realize that they have to deal with TikTok boy. Podcast P, Joel with the knees. Like, this is a lot. Like, if they can't,
My boy, shout out Jared McCain.
Jeremy King, very tough. I like
Very
him though. That's
tough,
the
very
crazy
tough,
part. Like,
very tough.
because he's thick skinned for to be able to do what he does, like be a shooter as well, bro. Like he shoots so it's like you already know, like mentally he's gonna be prepared for the shots. But Philly, the way they're built and how they've been coming up short, Paul George has a history. Joel Embiid has a history.
Yeah.
I feel like they should have went younger. I like the PG signing because that means that they're fully committed to Joel Embiid.
Mhm.
Because if they would have went younger, that means that they're looking past Joel. But since they went with PG, somebody that's older, that's keeping the window now rather than okay, like 5-6 years. So it's like I like it. They're being aggressive for now moves, and Kelly Oubre also coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you mentioned that, but he
I,
was a dog for
I mean,
them.
yeah, yeah. Jeez. I
Got
mean,
hit by a car, boy was right back. Like, what's up?
oh, yo, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Like that was fishy too, because it's like he's 6'8", car hit him in the chest. Like I still don't get that story, bro.
I mean, that
But
the crazy that they bringing him back. But that I think that cycles into another Eastern Conference team that you had mentioned that really made a lot of moves, and this could be a battle we see for a couple years to come. I'm not gonna lie.
the Villanova Knicks, the Nova Knicks.
Nova Knicks.
Bro, it's like I love it because they went from being like a smaller team where they were saying like, yo, like all these small guards between like Brunson, DiVincenzo, and like Josh Hart, all like under 6'4", 6'5", to now like they have a pretty sizable like lineup. And with Julius, I know a lot of people are saying, are they gonna flip him, whatnot? I feel like they should keep him because it's like now you could potentially have a starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG, Julius, and then you pick a five because like that's huge. That's a lot of size, and it's like what you have with Jalen Brunson. You had a lot of smaller guards with him in the playoffs, and they made it deep. And all of those guys are still going to be here and on the bench, so that gives you a lot of depth. And the way Tibbs loves to play, a lot of people now that he has like a good group of people, they're all going to be able to play a lot of minutes and still be able to keep their legs under them because there's going to be a solid rotation, and especially how good they look with OG.
The memes with Mikal Bridges, how he never misses games, and Tibbs, loves
We
to
gonna
play
see
people
who go budge.
45, 40. Who gonna budge first?
We
Like,
go see, cause Mikel gonna somehow find a way to play 83 games again. Like
yeah.
somehow, some way.
And it's just crazy because you look at the depth that team has now, and honestly, I said it this last playoffs. If they didn't get hurt, I mean, I think they challenged Boston just because of
And I
depth alone.
and
And
it's like now that I'm looking at it, like defensively, like they pose a challenge to Boston because they have two people to defend Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum.
yeah, yeah. So watch out for the Knicks, man. Like they made a run this year. That's not gonna go away. So
They
watch out
number
for
one
them.
in free agency so far because they brought some things to the team that is like rejuvenating because their
Yeah,
free agent addition, you're not gonna worry about chemistry about how it's gonna work. Like it's gonna work for a fact. Like it's just simple as that.
facts. And then another little free agent. This not like a whole team, but another little free agency move I liked was seeing Chris Paul, the vet. We all know CP3, going to play with the young guy in San Antonio and Victor Wembanyama.
Man,
That pick and roll is about to be deadly. Just all I gotta say. I can't wait to see, you know, Chris Paul go in there and just teach him really how to play. Somebody on Twitter said that Chris Paul over is gonna feed families, and it honestly might. Like,
so much betting is gonna be done. Anything with Wemby CP, I'm going over. And kind of like you said, with teaching him how to play,
mhm,
I don't think it's foreign to say that Wemby might average close to 30 points a game next year just because of Chris Paul.
bro,
And it's like
yes.
it sounds crazy to me, but
Just
the
say it.
fact that Chris Paul checking in, that just adds 10 points to wherever Wemby's at in the game. Because all those lobs, all the times we are saying, why didn't they give it to him?
He's gonna be,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
happening.
it's crazy because like Chris Paul, he's just gonna make the game so much easier for him. And
That's what I'm saying. Like the easy buckets, because
yeah,
I'm thinking about
yeah,
like Wemby, he has like such a game that's still being kind of like, shaped, formed,
Yeah.
and CP's gonna show him it's like, okay, like, you're still figuring out where you want to take your jump shots, like where you want your threes from, your middies, and he can still do all the unicorn shit. But the simple lobs, the simple like rolls to the basket, like little like dump offs, and like the dunker spot, and like the areas that Wimby can't like is able to reach. Once CP learns that, that's the one thing that people also don't realize. Wimby could score from places that like maybe three other people in the league could score from, like, just because of his like size, length, and like mobility. And it's like once CP knows that as a great point guard that he is, he's gonna be putting the ball in places that we never thought is possible, bro. Like the lobs that he's gonna throw, like where he's gonna this is gonna look ridiculous.
I would not be shocked if we're talking about Victor Wembanyama as MVP candidate next year. It's ridiculous, man. It's the future of this league is in really good hands, and we're still gonna monitor free agency go like all through this summer. It's so much is gonna happen. There's still so many free agents left available. You still got guys like DeMar. They talking about even Gordon Hayward, like somebody who's forgotten about.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, somebody who's forgotten about because of past injuries, whatever. But that could be a good little piece for a team. He was
Might
on,
be like him in Denver,
yeah.
like perfect swing guy, like
Even Denver's rumors. Denver's talking about getting Russell Westbrook.
Russ.
There's just a lot going on. So we're gonna get that to you. We're gonna always monitor that. And then Summer League right around the corner, literally, I think next week. So we'll
Bronny
talk about
James.
that. Bronny
We gotta
James,
shout out Bronny James one more time. Story of a
Connect Four,
lifetime. We get more into it,
Connect Four,
but
Don't Connect. I'm a big Don't Connect fan. Watch out for him. He's a scoring machine. We're gonna really see what these rookies can do. So I'm excited for
mhm.
that. And we're gonna get that to you. So stay tuned and peace out, guys.
Those.